Today we're going to dig into a single word, a single concept, that points to two totally different, but, as we'll see, deeply connected futures for all of us and AI. And that name is Centaur. It really all comes down to this one huge question. Is this incredible technology we're building going to work with us to make us better? Or are we going to end up working for it, just taking orders from an algorithm?
And look, this isn't some far-off philosophical thing to debate over coffee. For military strategists right now, all over the world, this is a very real, very urgent problem they're trying to solve today.
So to really get why, we've got to look at the modern battlefield. The speed and just the sheer amount of information has completely changed how conflict works. It's created a need for a whole new kind of team-up between humans and machines.
Just try to picture it, a constant, non-stop flood of data coming from satellites, from drones, from sensors on the ground. It is an absolute tidal wave of information. There's just no way any single person or even a whole team of people could possibly sift through it all fast enough to make those split-second life-or-death decisions. It's total cognitive overload. So, the solution that's on the table is this idea called the strategic Centaur. And the key here is that it's not about replacing the human commander, it's about augmenting them. The idea is to pair a human strategist with an AI that can chew through that mountain of data in an instant, spot the patterns, and serve up insights so the human can make a smarter, faster call.
But here's where it gets really interesting. As military thinkers are figuring out, there's not just one way to build this partnership. There are actually two competing models, and they've named them after a couple of creatures from Greek mythology, the Centaur and the Minotaur.
And the whole difference really just boils down to one thing: who's in control? The Centaur model, over on the left, is a real partnership. It's like Centaur chess, where a human grandmaster and an AI work together, combining human intuition with raw computing power. But the Minotaur model on the right, that's a different beast entirely. There, the machine is calling the shots, and the human basically becomes the hands of the machine, kind of like a worker in a super automated warehouse, just following an algorithm's instructions.
But what happens when you're under extreme pressure, when the clock is ticking? Well, some researchers studying Centaur chess found that when you force players to make a move in under 60 seconds, the human actually becomes a bottleneck. The AI is just plain faster and better. As one person put it, at that speed, quote, "the human does not add any value." The partnership just falls apart, and the whole system starts to look a lot more like that machine-led Minotaur.
And here's the massive problem with that. While a Minotaur system might seem efficient for small tactical decisions, at the strategic level, we're talking generals, presidents, the big calls, it's a truly terrifying idea. I mean, how does an AI weigh morality or political consequences or the long-term human cost of a decision? Those are things that data just can't measure, and it's exactly why a human has to stay in the driver's seat.
Okay, so just as we're trying to wrap our heads around this whole military dilemma, get this. It turns out there's a completely different team of scientists in a totally different field who are also building something they call Centaur. But their goal isn't to build a better soldier, it's to build a model of the human mind. This whole thing raises a really mind-bending question, doesn't it? What if these two projects, the military one and the science one, are actually two sides of the same coin? To build an AI that can truly be our partner, do we first need to build an AI that actually thinks like us? To even begin to answer that, an enormous team of cognitive scientists gathered an amount of data that is just staggering. We are talking about 10,681,650 individual human choices, collected from over 60,000 people across 160 different psychological experiments. This is a map of human decision-making on a scale that nobody has ever seen before.
So what was the point of all this? Their goal was to use this insane dataset to build the world's first foundation model of human cognition. Now, you can think of a foundation model as a big general-purpose AI that you can adapt for all sorts of tasks. Well, this one was designed not just to do a task, but to actually model the messy, complicated process of human thought itself.
This isn't some brand new idea. For decades, scientists like Alan Newell have dreamed of creating a unified theory of cognition. Basically, a single theory that could explain the beautiful, chaotic complexity of the human mind. It's been one of the biggest holy grails in all of cognitive science.
To build their model, they first had to build the data, which they nicknamed Psych 101. And the really clever part was how they took all these different experiments, each with its own weird rules and setups, and translated them all into simple, natural language. This created a kind of Rosetta Stone, a common format that a big AI model could actually understand and learn from.
So what does this data actually look like? Well, it's pretty much a cross-section of humanity in action. You've got people choosing between slot machines to see how we deal with risk. You've got us trying to remember a string of numbers to test our short-term memory. It's people judging grammar, learning from rewards and punishments, and even simple stuff like picking the odd one out from a set of 3 objects.
And the results? They are absolutely stunning. This new Centaur model was way more accurate at predicting human choices than the old, specialized models that were each built for just one of those tasks. This new Centaur could do it all, and honestly, it could do it better.
But here is the most incredible part. The AI doesn't just spit out what the average person would probably do. No, it simulates the entire range, the whole distribution of human behavior. So when it plays a game, some of its simulated players are super cautious, some are reckless, some are clever, just like a real group of people. It actually captures our diversity.
Okay, so let's pull all this together. We've got 2 completely different projects from 2 different worlds, and they're both named Centaur. And when you look at them side by side, it really reveals something deep about the future we're all heading into.
And this just lays it out perfectly. You have the 2 faces of our AI future. The strategic Centaur, its goal is to augment our intelligence, to make us better, faster, stronger. And then you have the cognitive Centaur, and its goal is to simulate our intelligence, to understand who we are. One's a tool, the other is a mirror.
But both of these paths, the tool and the mirror, share a huge common danger. The military historian H.R. McMaster calls it the Vampire Fallacy. It's this idea that just refuses to die. It's the super tempting belief that better technology can solve all our problems and replace the need for messy, complicated, and difficult human judgment.
And this is not a hypothetical risk. We are already seeing it play out in the real world. Reports about Israel's Lavender AI system, which was used for targeting in Gaza, suggest that human analysts were, in some cases, spending only about 20 seconds reviewing a target package generated by the AI before signing off. This is a perfect, and frankly chilling, example of that drift from a Centaur partnership into a Minotaur system, where the incredible moral weight of a decision gets handed off to an algorithm, all for the sake of speed.
Which leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. These 2 Centaurs show us 2 different paths. One is building a better partner, and the other is building a better copy of ourselves. But what if they aren't 2 paths at all? Maybe to ever truly build the perfect AI partner, we first have to succeed at making that perfect copy. An AI that doesn't just calculate, but that actually understands us with all our flaws, our biases, and our flashes of brilliance. What we decide to do with that, well, that's going to define everything.